Welcome to this demo of some of the great new features in ControlUp Solve. Let's start with a quick glimpse at the brand new custom dashboards feature. Customers have been loving the slick new visualizations that Solve brings, but they've been asking for the ability to create their own dashboards, and we have listened. Creating custom dashboards is simple. On the real-time health status dashboard, you will now see a drop-down menu. Here you can navigate to a little plus symbol to get started. Just name your dashboard, and next you can start adding your widgets. There are many different widget types to choose from. You can add custom widgets to display data you care about the most in the type of visualization that you most want to see. And you can optionally add some widget types that we have provided out of the box within the product to display metrics like stress levels, slowest logons by user, top users for CPU consumption, and more. A really cool detail in this new feature is that when you are creating a custom dashboard and configuring a new widget, you get a live real-time preview of what the visualization will look like on your dashboard. No need to guess what the end result will be before adding your widgets in. If I would like to, I could set the scope to a certain data center or cluster, or to a specific EUC site, or maybe even down to a specific Citrix delivery group or Horizon desktop pool, for example. You can even set the scope to a specific folder view in your organization. You get amazing granularity for the data you can display. Let's get started and add some widgets for our dashboard. I'm going to start by creating a custom widget type, and I'm going to select a single stat, which is a single counter that displays an aggregated number count of metrics as a single number. And there are a lot of different metrics that you can select from. For our first widget, I'm going to select total sessions. And you can see over to the right, there's this handy preview. And it's showing 22, but that's the number that reflects my entire organization. So I'm going to change the scope because I only care about what is in my QA Citrix site. Here we can see an example of a dashboard I created for my Citrix site. I could create a dashboard for each site, possibly for each group of desktops, perhaps by department like finance, IT, HR, and so on. Once finalized, I could share my dashboards with others in my organization, and now you can also view dashboards in Solve in TV mode, which is awesome for your command centers and help desks that have displays mounted on the wall. It's optimal for that. Also now available is our awesome EdgeDX Metrics, which displays invaluable data for your physical endpoints. On the main dashboard, it displays how many managed devices you have. It also shows a breakdown of devices by the operating system they are running, an indicator of how many alerts occurred in the last hour, and the last hour's sample that shows Wi-Fi strength of wireless devices. You also get a trend of online devices to show when your organization's devices are online and when they tend to go offline. We see a familiar average logon time metric in the display, as well as the always useful user input delay metric that can be a surefire indicator of a poor user experience and frustration. At the bottom of this dashboard, the managed devices are plotted on a map with their geographical locations. Pretty cool when you have a large remote workforce. Before navigating away from the main dashboard, I would be remiss if I didn't show you the configuration options available. You can configure alerts for your physical endpoints. For example, perhaps you would like to alert on devices that max out on CPU utilization. You can also configure agent settings if you would like to change interval settings, Windows event log settings, and more. You can also view the system events that have occurred in your organization, and something I love in particular is the scripts option. We enable you to create custom scripts for your Windows, macOS, and Linux devices to gather some other custom data you might like and also to carry out actions or changes that you might like. For example, I have a script here to update an agent on my Linux thin client devices executed from ControlUp EdgeDX. If I quickly go back and click on Add Script, I can show you that you have numerous scripting language options available to you, like PowerShell, VB script, command scripts, and more in Windows, Bash, Shell, Swift, and more for macOS, plus PowerShell, Python, Bash, Shell, and more for Linux. All of this can be awesome for helping to maintain and manage those devices, and also, like I said, give you the ability to report on your own custom data for your devices. But let's go back to our main dashboard to drill into some of the metrics to see what data is already available out of the box with EdgeDX. Like all metrics in Solve, these metrics are interactive. If I click on my devices running macOS, for example, it brings me to a dashboard with these devices and very useful metrics like Wi-Fi signal strength, network latency, resource utilization, and more. One of my personal favorite features are the incredible pre-canned reports that are available. We can get really granular and look at installed applications on devices, the network interfaces used on the devices, hardware details, and even host files entries, plus much more. It can also be an InfoSec team's dream, allowing them to see how the devices are being used remotely and providing really key details like reports on missing patches, for example, which is one of my favorites. You can also get creative and create your own custom reports with all of the great metrics that are available within the product. As you may expect, these reports can also be exported. Let's navigate to our Discovery dashboard. Under my user sessions, we can see some of our exciting new remote DX metrics. For example, we have an overall client devices score, and if you see that a client device is showing less than optimal, there's a little house icon that you can click on to get more granular details. And there's this awesome visualization that allows you to track latency throughout the end-to-end connection. We can see here, for example, the Wi-Fi signal. It's not terrible, but it's also not great. And we could see that the endpoint connection to the router has very little latency, and the router out to public DNS, Google DNS, isn't terrible either, but the overall connection is having some latency. So the connection into the gateway and to the session host has some latency. There's also some other really neat metrics displayed like SSID, BSSID, so you could observe real-time sessions and see exactly which access point they are connected to and how the performance is. You see the Wi-Fi signal strength, client NIC speed, and other awesome data that should change the way you support remote workers. No more taking a guess that there is a network issue at someone's home. With this data, you will have your answer. We hope you all enjoy these great new features.